record on a YouTube video with a needy dog is impossible because she will not leave me alone. Oh yes.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to be a really good girl.
Hi guys, so today's video is actually a little bit different from my usual vlog content. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you tips and advice on how to become an estate agent. So I'm an estate agent. I'm currently branch manager at a Belvoir branch in Hull, and I became an estate agent when I was 17 years old. So I'll just give you like a bit of background on how I became an estate agent. So I actually was in college and decided that it just wasn't for me. So I had a look into like different jobs that didn't require any like specific qualifications, because obviously if I wasn't finishing college, I wasn't going to have any A-levels, but obviously I did have my GCSEs. So in the list of jobs that I was finding, an estate agent was one of them, and I was kind of interested in this because my dad is a builder and like has properties that he rents out, so it was something that I was familiar with and I'd grown up around a little bit, so I thought this would be a good job option for me. So I had a look around, and back when I was 17, this was in 2015, there weren't that many apprenticeships going about, so there was only one job advert for an apprenticeship as an estate agent, and it took a while for that actually to come up. I did go around asking about, but it wasn't really something that estate agencies did like back then. But luckily I did get the apprenticeship. So I was 17 when I started, and I did a 1-year apprenticeship. So I just started off the apprenticeship at 17, and in this apprenticeship I was doing like a sales and lettings apprenticeship, but I know there are different routes that you can take to go into a estate agency, and that's just the one that I was doing. And basically in an apprenticeship I was working in the office full time as a normal estate agent. I was a sales and lettings negotiator, but then you also have an apprenticeship provider, and it's basically like a teacher that will check in on what you're doing, and you'll have like different assignments and things that you have to do over the space of your apprenticeship course, just to complete it, and then you get the qualification at the end. I then just worked my way up from there basically. So I think I was probably like 18 years old when I became senior sales and lettings negotiator, around 19 years old when I became an assistant manager. I think I was 20 when I became a branch manager, and then I've moved to a different company where I was branch manager there at 23, and I'm just still in that same role at the moment. So it is a good career if you're looking to move up and get promotions. Obviously I've done that fairly quickly, and I do really enjoy the job. So this is why I do a lot of my content on TikTok. If you don't follow me already, it's at Alicia.franklin. And I do share a lot of like day in the life videos and things of me being an estate agent. But it's a job that I absolutely love, and I wanted to share a video so that I can maybe help other people learn how to become an estate agent. So this first section is about writing your CV. So obviously you might be able to win people over in an interview with like your personality and things, but if you don't have a good CV, you might not even get to that interview stage. So it is a really important step. The things that you want to be thinking about when you're writing the CV is, what is the job role that you're applying for? What kind of roles and responsibilities does it have? What kind of qualities and skills are they looking for? So I always recommend starting off your CV with your personal statement. And in here, you're just going to write a little bit about yourself, but you should also think about different qualities that you might need as an estate agent. So obviously the key one is confidence. As an estate agent, you speak into loads of different people. So like throughout my day, I might speak to like sales clients, landlords, tenants, just general customers that are coming in and inquiring. So you really want to be confident in speaking to all different kinds of people. You're also going to want to think about things like initiative, organisation. There's so many different things, and if you like look up a job advert, you'll see different qualities that they're looking for. So have a look, say if there's a certain position that you're applying for, or even if you just Google like qualities needed as an estate agent, have a look through all those and see how you could fit that into talking about yourself. So I'm just looking at some notes that I made for a CV on my phone, so I can give you some examples. So you can always say that you're a motivated, hardworking person and can complete like tasks to a good standard. You're good at working well as a team or as an individual because you can use your own initiative, always confident when meeting new people, things like that. They're the kind of things that you want to be included in your personal statement. So once you've done the personal statement, you want to be going on to your work experience, and the way you want to list this is putting your most current job at the top, because that's probably going to be the most important one. And again, it kind of goes through the whole process of writing your CV. You want to be looking at job adverts for estate agents when writing this. And how that's going to come in when you're writing about your job experience is looking at what different responsibilities you'd have as an estate agent and kind of relate them back to like work experience that you already have. So like say you've just worked as a sales assistant in River Island, but you've worked on the checkout, so you've got experience speaking with customers, you've got good customer service. You might have experience answering the phones, which is also another thing that you need to do as an estate agent. And you might have good organisation skills because you've got to keep the shop floor organised and things like that. So it's always about looking at what experience you have and relating that back to the role as an estate agent, just comparing the two and trying to see which you can link up. Say another example, you've worked in a doctor's surgery as a receptionist or like a pharmacy. So you've got emails, phone calls that you would do, which you would also have to do as an estate agent. Then you can also say about handling personal data, which is a big thing as an estate agent. And also maybe like using different computer softwares, because estate agencies will have different softwares where they have all like property, tenant, client information. So you can say about all the different softwares that you've used, things like that. It's just basically relating everything, find different connections. Then at the bottom, after you've done the work experience, you're just going to list like your qualifications that you've got, so any like GCSEs and things. And then I also would recommend, if you've got a driving licence, I would put that on there as well, because a lot of positions will require you to have a UK driving licence, just so that you can obviously attend viewings and go to properties and things like that. But that sums it up for your CV. Some companies might also ask for you to have a cover letter, but again, it's just about writing why you think you'd be good for the role, experience that you already have that you could bring into the role as an estate agent, and you're pretty much set to go. So your next step is going to be finding a job vacancy, and sometimes this can be a little bit difficult. So the obvious one is you want to be checking on the job search engines. I've always just used Indeed, but I'm pretty sure there are others, I've just never looked. So searching for like estate agent apprenticeships in your area. You can search like different things like sales negotiator apprenticeship, estate agent apprenticeship, lettings negotiator apprenticeship, things like that. They might come under different titles. So just have a look, see if there are any jobs available in your area. And then also I would recommend setting up your notifications. So Indeed will basically send you an email if a job in that specific field comes up. But like I said, sometimes this can be a little bit difficult, like it can be hard to find estate agent apprenticeships. Not as hard as when I was looking, but it can be more difficult. So if this is something that you're finding, you're not really finding any apprenticeships available, I do have some more tips for this. So if, like I said, you're struggling to find any positions online, the first thing I would recommend is obviously having your CV ready, like we said in the first step, and then you want to print that off and dress in some kind of like smart casual attire. You don't need to be going in a full suit, but obviously dressing more professional than you would on like a day-to-day basis. And you want to be finding all the local agents in your area. So if you just search on Google like estate agents near me, it'll bring up like a list of all the estate agents that are near you. Then what you want to be doing is printing off that CV and going into each of these estate agents and just having a chat with them. So ask them if they've got any apprenticeships coming up, things like that. They might not, but then they might also take your CV so that if anything does come up, then they can get in contact with you. And also by going in and doing this, it's actually making you stand out more than just sending your CV in online. Like you're showing that you've got initiative and the confidence to go in and actually speak to them. They'll meet you as a person, so they'll be able to see your personality more. So make sure you're really confident, smiley, bubbly, because those are all the kind of things that you want to see in an estate agent. So by going in, taking them your CV, having a chat with them, they're going to be impressed already. And I know this sounds like really, really scary. Like even myself, I would be nervous doing this, but the key is just to be confident. Even if you're not, fake it till you make it. And that is going to help you stand out from all the other people that might be looking for estate agency apprenticeships. Because from the people that message me on TikTok, I think there are quite a people that are becoming more interested in this industry now. I think definitely because of things like selling sunsets and then people posting on TikTok, it is becoming a more wanted job. Another thing that might help is like networking. So if you're from like London or somewhere like that, there are some like in different places as well, but because London is a much bigger place, there are a lot more events. So go to like networking events for estate agents. Just because you're not already an estate agent doesn't mean you can't go to these events. And then you can go talk to people that are already in the industry, people there might give you like advice, things like that. And then you might also meet like business owners, things like that, who are actually looking for apprentices. You can also do networking through LinkedIn. So make yourself a LinkedIn account and find different people on there that are in a state agency. Maybe you can contact them, ask them for tips, or just get in contact with them to see if they have any positions available. And a lot of estate agents will post a lot of things about their role on there as well. So you might learn a lot about the job as well. And then on the final step, we're coming to the interview. So this is kind of like maybe the scariest part. I know a lot of people hate interviews. They can be so nerve-wracking, but hopefully with these tips that I'm going to give you, if you do have an interview coming up or you get one in the future, it's going to help you feel more prepared. So I have a few main points about the interview process that I think would be helpful. One of the main ones is actually personality, which I think for most job roles, you wouldn't think that would be. But I think for any kind of sales role, personality is super, super important. And this is because people like to give their business to people that they like. So say if I was going to a property valuation, this is an opportunity for me to bring on new business for our company. And if that person likes me, but say the other estate agents that went round were kind of like bland, boring, whereas I was bubbly, chatty, and they liked me, that is going to factor into their like decision when they're choosing the estate agent to market their property. So when you go into the interview, make sure you're confident, chatty, bubbly, but also keeping it professional at the same time. It's kind of like a mixture of both that you need to be portraying. So the next one is learning about the company that you're actually going for the interview for. Although a lot of estate agencies are all the same, they may have some differences. So if you go on their website, they'll probably have like a page that's like So if you go on their website, they'll probably have a page that's like about you, and it'll have different things about the company on there. It might have like how they started, things like that. And write down notes, because learning about this company, if you can factor any of these things into your answers when they're asking you questions in the interview, it's going to show that you've had the initiative to go and learn about the company before your interview. And it shows that you are really interested, whereas some people just wouldn't bother to do this. The next one is do a little bit of like self-learning before you go into the interview to learn about the job role. I know this can be difficult because there's a lot of information and you don't know what's important and things like that. But I do actually have an Etsy guide that's like a little estate agent training guide that gives you like basic information on the role. So I will link my Etsy store in the description below. But yeah, things like that. So on my interview, I was asked how often gas safeties needed to be done, because I think electric certificates weren't a legal requirement back then when I first started, but things like that they might ask you, like how often does a gas safety need to be done? How often does an electrical certificate need to be done? How often does an EPC have to be done? So your gas safeties are every year, your electrical certificates are every 5 years, and your EPC is every 10 years. Just basic information like that. Again, it shows that you've made the effort to go and learn about the role, and they're going to be like impressed with the fact that you know this information when you've not had a position in this industry before. So just kind of learn any basic information about the role that you can, so that you've got as much knowledge as you can when you go into the interview. A lot of companies will also ask the dreaded questions of things like, why should we hire you? What will you bring to the company? Why do you want the role? So make a list of like your qualities that you think would be useful in an estate agency role, and kind of come up with answers to these questions before you go in, just in case, because if they are asked, then you're prepared. And I feel like these questions like stump people so much because it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. So make sure you prepare answers to these kind of questions. Again, I do also have like interview question help in my Etsy store as well. But yeah, like write down answers to these questions so that if you do get asked, you are prepared and you've got a good answer for it. And the next one is appearance. So as an estate agent, we don't tend to really have uniforms. I have worked somewhere before where we had like a branded shirt, but where I am at the moment, it's kind of just like wear your own clothes. So you want to be smart and presentable. That's the kind of person that they're going to want to be hiring, because obviously you're going out meeting customers and things like that. So think about, if you were in an estate agent, what would you be wearing to go to work? You want to wear that kind of thing for the interview, whether it's like a full suit or if it's just like a nice top and trousers, skirt and blouse. Just make sure you're looking professional, and then obviously it's completely up to you and your style. Don't be afraid to like add your own style on it, as long as it's professional, and then that would be fine. And that brings us to the end of the video, so thank you for watching, and if you are an aspiring estate agent, I hope the video was helpful for you. And if you do have any questions, don't be scared to drop it in the comments below, because I am actually going to be making an estate agent Q&A video. So I've got a few questions noted down that I get on TikTok, and if any comments are on this video, I'll add that in as well. But thank you so much for watching. Good luck to any of you wanting to become an estate agent. I hope you get there. And also a bye from Nelly, who loved to interrupt us through this video. You say bye!